We are 22S Radio. 22S Radio is 22smedia.com and 88.1 FM, KKJZ HD3, Long Beach, Los Angeles.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and now our World Broadcasting Tag Team Champions of the World and a Cruiserweight Champion.
I'm Ethan.
I'm James.
Rob.
And this is episode 184 of Beyond the Ropes. We are BTR Pro Wrestling Talk. You can find us on Twitter at RealBTR Radio. You can find me individually at EthanM95. You can follow James at
JHW Reporter.
And producer Rob Flores at
Rob Flores Media. And don't forget the R2 DMs for Ethan.
Nowhere to be found this week. Just disappeared. A lot of big news happening this week. As we're recording this earlier today, it was officially announced Ring of Honor has been sold. Your favorite promoter, Rob, Tony Khan, has purchased Ring of Honor. In a weird announcement, I heard. I don't know. It was done during AEW Dynamite. He seemed like he was very excited.
Yeah, he even got a Shane reference in there saying, no Shane, like Shane's not buying it this time or something like that, which is kind of like, why'd you have to, but it's just like, why'd you even have to mention WWE or Shane or anything? You know what I mean? It's kind of like, but
also, he overpaid. Did you see? He overpaid for Ring of Honor.
Oh, no. How much did he pay? Too much.
The dirt sheets are reporting it was like Ring of Honor was worth more than like 200% more than WCW's purchase, which was $3 million by WWE.
Which is a big deal. Like, I mean,
which is a lot.
Oof.
I heard.
Yeah,
20 million at one point. I think I even heard 40 million at one point. So.
I mean, you're paying you're paying for the library, right? And with Samoa Joe and everyone else on that, right? But I mean, that's really all you're paying for. So what does it matter? I mean,
you got the name.
Which is weird
because the last
didn't they buy the library?
They got the library with it.
Well, but didn't WWE buy the library, or I guess maybe just buy rights to it?
No.
Because no. I think what it was is they got clipped. They did a partnership usage for clips to use in the DVDs.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's about it. Which they do with every company. They've done it with Impact. They've done it with New Japan.
Yeah. And I feel at this point, I mean, Samoa Joe's not there anymore. AJ might be the only one with ROH if he even went there.
Even more so Impact than anything. So
right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, what clips are you really going to be like? You're not really going to the well that much with that library anymore, anyways.
Daniel Bryan isn't there. Punk isn't there.
Bryan, yeah,
it's like cool.
Everyone. That's probably the only reason why it was a smart AEW move is just because now you have the library for those guys. If you wanted to tell their stories a little bit further, I guess. So, sure.
Punk and Danielson and Joe are getting inducted
into the ROH Hall of Fame.
Yeah, which is weird because they just got bought out. So, are they still doing that?
Who announced that?
Ring of Honor, the owner or previous owners. I don't know.
I mean, so you're bringing Samoa Joe in for, I mean, maybe you sign him at that point. I guess. Cool. I don't know. It was, this is another one of Tony Khan's shocking announcements, right? Or it was a big announcement. Actually, another big announcement too was that AEW announced they were coming to the Forum. I think sometime in the next month or so. I think by April or something. You didn't see this?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I had to find it during the commercial break. I actually was surprised you didn't start spamming the old inbox to let me know about it.
I'll pass.
Oh, you're saying you wouldn't go to it?
If you want to
At
go,
the
we could.
forum?
We could.
I'm not saying I'm gonna go. No, I'm kidding. No, I mean we'll see. We'll check it out. We'll see what the date is on it. I think it was like fairly close. It was like a pretty close turnaround where I think it's within the next month or so. And I mean this falls in line with what Tony Khan had told my colleague Gilbert Manzano on his podcast during Super Bowl week on Radio Row when they asked him when AEW was going to start making their way back onto the West Coast. Obviously they did their first event in Vegas, I believe. So Tony Khan had said, oh yeah, we're gonna be in Vegas. Didn't mention anything about the forum, but looks like they were able to maybe start looking or considering the West Coast a little bit further, and that's how they're likely to have ended up here in the forum. So we'll see how that goes. Interesting that they'll go to the forum, but I mean I'm not against it, but I think maybe it shows maybe there's some steps that still remain before they can get into crypto.com arena. But yeah, I think, I think they could have gotten crypto if they wanted to, but I think the forum will fit them nicely and will do maybe do well for them. I think, especially for the first event, like in California, like you want to kind of get those people out there and see what that crowd's going to be like for them.
Yeah. So any final thoughts on AEW purchasing, or I guess Tony Khan purchasing?
Meh.
Yeah, same.
I mean, it's cool, but we'll see. It's all a matter of what they do with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just kind of what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
But
speaking of former Ring of Honor stars, Cesaro is now a former WWE superstar. Reports came last week that his contract with WWE came to an end, and they were unable to reach an agreement. They offered him a number, and he didn't like it. He has quietly left the company, as they said. And I don't know. He's a free agent now. Free to show up anywhere he wants.
Yeah, so he can, and I think it's kind of interesting, but I don't think the door is now completely closed on WWE, right? I would say
I believe it was said that he wanted to stay. Actually, he just felt like he wanted more money, but he, I guess, didn't want to leave. And I would not be surprised if he does re-sign at some point.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's going to be for more money.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with it. I think so. I was listening to Jim Cornette's podcast, or just maybe more specifically his thoughts on Cesaro leaving, and he said, for a guy like Cesaro who has everything you need to be a world champion, the promo is kind of there a little bit. Maybe could be a little bit better, but I think everything else is kind of there for him. I think Jim Cornette thinks the same, and I think Jim Cornette said it's just going to be where no matter where he goes, we don't like, maybe Cesaro's gone as far as Cesaro, the gimmick, can go, but maybe find that next thing that will kind of get you over to that next level, right? Like just something that will kind of just something fresh. Like you just need something fresh. Maybe just taking 6 months away, maybe a year away, come back. People aren't expecting you pop up into the Rumble all of a sudden, something like that. And you just kind of get back on the radar and maybe you come in hot, right? I mean, it's always, when you think about it, it's not always the end of the world now when you get let go, especially when it's for something like this, more so than they released you or whatever. But even if you get released, I mean, look what happened with Drew McIntyre. Does Drew McIntyre have the career he's had the last couple years if he doesn't get released? Probably not, right?
Not.
So I think maybe this is a good chance for Cesaro. I'm not sure what his age is, but I think this will provide a good opportunity for him to kind of sit down, rest up the body, and rethink and recalibrate and kind of get back after it again. And again, I think it's kind of interesting though too, is you're getting a lot of these up, down guys that are kind of moving on or getting released or different things. And maybe part of that's just the extra work and the time that they're putting into like projects like that as well, especially for that same company, right? So Maybe too, there's just a little bit of I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's all just coincidence, but I mean, Xavier Woods is what now the only of at least those four that is still there. So interesting.
Cesaro is just turned 41, so a little on the older
Okay.
side, but
A little bit
still, I mean,
older, but yeah, could still go.
still great shape. Yeah, phenomenal shape. We'll talk about someone else who's phenomenal in a little bit. He got his match. We'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, Cesaro, I mean, he's one of those guys. I've mentioned it. He's a good hand. He's a good hand. He's a reliable worker. He would be great anywhere. It's a matter of if they can find something for him to do. As you mentioned, his promo stuff has never been the greatest, but it's always been good work inside the ring. He's multi-time tag team champion, former United States champion, and I mean they just never fully pushed him. The biggest push he had was last year. He defeated Seth Rollins in his first singles match at WrestleMania, actually. And then he went on to face our tribal chief, who, by the way, I acknowledged earlier today.
I'm
as
sure
always,
he did.
Woke up and thank the gods for a Roman.
I know. I go ahead.
But I was just gonna finish it up saying he faced off against Roman. And he would have captured the title, but that was kind of his last big push before he kind of just fell off to the side. And since then, he hasn't been the same, honestly.
But I think that's kind of always been what it like. That's always what it has been for him. Is like, oh, we'll put you in the title match, but we're not gonna like put you over. Like, we're not gonna give you the belt or whatever. The thing is like, yeah, you can put him in a lot of different spots. Yeah, he's a good hand, but it's like he just still has that. It's still there where he could very easily be in the mix to be a world champion. And sometimes it's just a matter of whatever, the stars don't align, the talent, whatever. But I mean, hey, it happened to Roddy Piper, to Razor Ramon, and everybody else too, right? So some of those guys, like, I mean, it just happens to people. So, or what they'll say is he doesn't need the belt, brother. So.
He could be one of those guys that just never gets title. Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, he's had his fair share of titles. I mean, he's had the tag team and he's had the Intercontinental title and stuff, for example. So makes sense.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm sure we'll see him show up on some form of television very soon, whether it's WWE or not. Speaking of WWE, we are on the road to WrestleMania. We're almost there. We're getting there. We're no more pit stops. We do have a roadblock on NXT. By the way, they're using the roadblock name for their next week's episode. But we're on our way to, say with me, James, the premium live
event. Ah, yes.
WrestleMania.
Gotta love the premium live events. I think it's always an exciting time. I think when we ended the show yesterday or last week, it was you guys told me the Undertaker got to the Hall of Fame, and I wasn't aware of that. I thought that was something, and I think I saw the video package. It wasn't like, maybe it's not exactly what I thought it was going to be, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it was just interesting. But it was good stuff. I like when they show a lot of old school Undertaker, and I don't think it showed a lot of old school Undertaker in it.
From the 90s, early 90s, when he started?
When he was wearing like purple and gray.
They didn't show too much of that.
They didn't show too much of that. They kind of go away from that quite a bit sometimes for whatever reason. I don't really know.
It was a little characterish.
Yeah, but I like it. Like, I don't know. There's just something like it. That's just, I mean, that's the guy who used to walk down to the ring and kids would cry just because they were scared for their life.
James, were you one of those kids?
No. No, because I was mature. No.
Rob was one of those
but
kids.
You're scared?
No,
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Rob
Rob was okay. No, I mean, like, I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to be in the same building as like Kane and the Undertaker.
It's
But
scary. Oh, I don't want to be in the same building as Kane right now. We'll talk about.
well, there's a
about
couple. There's a couple Canes out there that got themselves in a. They got a little heat on them.
So they got a little.
They got a little heat on them on this past week.
got a little fire on them, huh?
Yeah, they got a little fire there.
Little flame on them.
They got a little flame, but we'll talk more about them later. But
Had a little buried alive match. Oh,
one almost buried somebody, but no. Anything else real quick that kind of before we go to break? Any other notes
Before we
that
go to break.
stood out to you?
Before we go to break, let's talk about. Say it with me, James.
L.A. Knight.
Yeah. He challenged Grayson Waller last man standing match, a roadblock.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. Still need to catch up on like the last 3 months, but I'm looking forward to it.
You just watch already. Like, what do you?
I really have to. What am I waiting for? I don't know. Like all my favorite wrestlers are on that show. Gunther. How can I not love?
You know
Gunther?
what? We're gonna talk about.
I want to talk about the Nikita Lions.
We'll talk about. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Toxic Attraction.
Yes, your favorite. But one thing that we are going to do is we're going to talk about Gunther or whatever.
Gunther.
And the match that he had.
He killed the Samoan.
Yes, he buried somebody. I was very upset about it. I was actually watching some of that. I
don't think he buried him.
We'll talk about it. Well, the clip I saw, he buried
I didn't watch it, so I think it was a hard fought match.
He buried him. But yeah, so and
if Roman Reigns was in there, it wouldn't have happened. But he's on the other show. So.
No, but isn't he in the family?
He could be a distant relative. He's from the streets.
Isn't he the Usos' brother?
But he said he was like an outcast. He had to fight in the streets. That's why he doesn't have shoes.
That's why he doesn't have shoes. Or do they claim that? Is that part of his story?
I think. Yeah, he said he learned his fight. His
but
fighting style in the streets.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've outed him or anything. No.
Right.
But
like I'm saying, are they saying he's in the Uso family?
I think it's kind of obvious that they reference.
Wait. So this is Rikishi's.
I don't know how many kids Rikishi's had, but
no. But is this Rikishi's kid though, or no?
Yes. Oh, yeah. It has to be
because it's their brother, right? Yeah.
Yeah. We'll talk about more about our favorite NXT superstars when we return right here on Beyond the Ropes. We are 22S Radio. 22S Radio is 22smedia.com and 88.1 FM, KKJZ HD3, Long Beach, Los Angeles. Welcome back to episode 184 of Beyond the Ropes. We are BTR Pro Wrestling Talk. I am your host, Ethan, joined alongside the analyst, James Williams, and producer, Rob Flores. We're pulling the graveyard shift here, getting out this episode this week, but we are on the road to WrestleMania, so we kind of had to put this out there. We're also available on Anchor FM. Go find us. Search up Beyond the Ropes. You'll find several episodes, I hope. Find us on YouTube. You can see our beautiful faces on YouTube. Over 180 episodes currently uploaded there. We're on every station you can think of, in Long Beach at least, right?
And if we're not on your station, then you go ahead and you tell the people at your local radio station that you want us on your radio station, and put us over. Call a friend, tell a family member, put us over. Because the Usos aren't doing that for their brother, but we hope you would do that for us.
Roman's a little busy right now. He's on the road to WrestleMania.
But what are the Usos doing?
They're gonna fight the Vikings next week or something. So they're busy too.
Again.
They never had their match.
Yeah, because it was like a DQ finish.
They flew all four of them over for the Viking Raiders to get jumped.
That's right. They went all the way to Saudi Arabia
to
attack them and not have a match.
What's your complaint with Gunther, my favorite NXT? One of my favorite NXT superstars.
You said, what is my problem with Gunther?
Yeah, Gunther.
Well, he buried
Solo Sikoa.
Solo Sikoa, yeah. And I'm just like,
did he bury him, or was it a hard fought battle?
Even if it was a hard fought battle, the clips that I saw of it, if I would have known this was a match that was happening, like, was this advertised?
It was it wasn't just a match that happened out of nowhere. It was an advertised contest.
I must have missed it during a lot of the Super Bowl stuff, and maybe I was just off. But yeah, I would have watched this match. I would have wanted to watch this match, but from the clips I saw and the way they even said at the end of the undefeated streak for young
First loss.
Uso there. First loss.
We're okay.
So the end,
He's
end of
okay.
the end. So that's okay. And it's against Gunther. So I mean, I'm not completely mad at it, but it's just kind of like if you're doing an undefeated thing or you want to build young guys up, like why not have him lose that in the title match, or why don't you have him compete for the title and be a serious threat?
It's too soon. Who are you gonna put him against? Carmelo Hayes?
Put him against Carmelo Hayes. Put him in there with whoever the champion is.
Can't put him against Braun Breaker. You can't even
Put him
remember your
against-
favorite guy's name.
Yeah, Braun Breaker. I mean, well,
Braun Breaker's busy playing Steiner Brothers with Ciampa over there.
Yes,
matching
Ciampa was wearing the singlet, and
He showed up on Raw too.
threw me off a little bit, especially because he was on Raw. Yeah, and he was not wearing a singlet, so wasn't exactly sure where they were going with that.
Paying homage. They were doing the Steiner Brothers gimmick.
I'm not mad at it. It's just random. Just a little random for me.
I mean, Punk did it with Sting. So he did the face paint gimmick. So
I guess I could see it.
why not?
See it.
One night, why not? Have some fun with it.
But yeah, just going back, I think I don't think they should have ended the undefeated streak now, but it is what it is.
Mhm.
Maybe they get a good little story out of it. I mean, you can't just like this just be done. I think he has to get some comeuppance. Go ahead.
I'll say he gets his next match. He'll get a pretty dominant victory. He'll look good.
You think so? You think a dominant victory?
I'm not saying over Gunther.
Oh,
But I'm just saying in general, they'll put him against someone he can destroy. I'm not saying no. I think Gunther's over there playing with my guys, Diamond Mind over there, Imperium, and they got a little feud.
So then, what was the point of the match?
Malcolm Bivens got a little feud with Gunther.
So what was the point of the match then?
I don't know. I haven't been watching NXT.
That's what I'm saying.
But they did. I don't know. They got kind of.
I just feel like if anything, do it on the show for on this premium live event.
Premium live event. Yeah, I mean,
I guess
it's a free show. It's
maybe it isn't
Tuesday.
A premium live event.
It's normal television taping.
Yeah, normal television taping.
We're pushing it with that one, but it's Roadblock. Why it's a special event. It is a special event. Special event.
Go to the YouTube and watch us make a fool of ourselves. But
look, I look great doing it. I could do this all day.
Okay, so you got Toxic Attraction. They're sitting in their little lounge, right? Apparently, there's some tag teams. They're doing a Dusty Cup. So they finished the men's Dusty Cup, and now they're doing the women's Dusty Cup. Is that what's happening? That's
right. They did finish the men. Did we talk about Diamond Mine winning? We did. I think we mentioned it. Diamond Mine, the Creed brothers ended up winning the Dusty Cup.
Who did they beat? Because
the finals were against your favorite tag team, MSK.
Yeah,
MSK.
Yeah. That MSK. No, but they're
getting a tag title match against Imperium. So that's how their feud is going. It's
okay
because the Creed brothers, who are part of, obviously, Diamond Mine, are facing 2 members of Imperium for the tag titles next week. And I believe they had a 6-man already, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. With Roddy and Gunther. So
yeah, I think I just found it interesting. But go ahead, tell me about what's going on with Toxic Attraction. Who's Mandy Rose? I don't want to say feuding with because she don't do nothing, but who's chasing the title?
Just defend her title? I think she just defended her title like a week or 2 ago.
For the first time?
She's defended like twice at least. She beat Raquel.
Like 6 months.
Beat Raquel.
That's not defending.
No, it was for the title. She had the title.
Okay.
Yeah, it was at the Takeover or something. It was at the New Year's Evil show. That's the one, I believe. That's where Dakota got involved, I believe.
That was like 2 months ago.
It's okay. She's defending her title. When's Braun Breaker defending his title?
I don't know.
He's been in a tag team match every week.
I mean, he's in this tag team thing. I don't get it either.
Should go contend for the tag titles at this point.
But
I don't know what
they
doing.
might. I mean, when they had the singlet on, I wouldn't have been surprised if they did. But I mean, why else would you win? Go ahead.
Toxic Attraction have done nothing but look great.
Yeah, nothing. They have it.
That's all they need to do. They just need to show up.
I mean, that's great. That's great. But who do you think? Where do you think that tournament's gonna go? I mean, are you aware? I saw Raquel and she has her new partner. They're in the semifinals.
It's Cora Jade, correct?
Yes, Cora Jade.
Io was teamed.
Go ahead. Again, what?
Io was teamed with. Who was Io teamed with?
PJ Girl and Dakota
Wendy
Kai.
Chu and Dakota Kai somehow ended up as a team. I don't know.
Which there seems to be interesting interaction there because they kind of did the same move in the corner there a little bit, and then I think Dakota Kai picked up the pin, and then kind of like then old PJ was kind of celebrating, and Dakota Kai was like, "What? Like I'm really in this tag team. We're really made it this far." So there's a little bit of a story there. I remember I was kind of shocked yesterday or last week when you said PJ used to be the serious voodoo girl, and now she's taking a complete 180.
You're talking about Wendy Chu, legend, NXT 2.0 legend.
What?
NXT 2.0 legend. Who formerly was known as Mei Ying.
And did nothing. Did she ever have a match? Maybe two matches?
She had a couple matches.
Really?
Yeah. She was a part of Tian Sha, which was obviously disbanded. We had Xia Li, who made her in-ring debut on SmackDown against Natalya, defeating her, by the way. And then Boa, who has gone solo. But anyways, Wendy Chu got this new gimmick. It seems to be working well for her. She's on TV.
Yeah, she's in PJs.
She's in PJs, but she's getting those W's. So,
okay, hear me out. You come to the arena. You go to the locker room, and you put on your PJs. And you're walking through catering. Mm-hmm. You're talking to people.
She got slippers too.
She has slippers. She's walking by Brock Lesnar. She walks by AJ Styles.
He's not going nowhere near the.
No, of course not. But what I'm saying is, like, you're walking through an arena in PJs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
I mean, pretty comfortable. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know anyone else who's wrestling in their PJs, so I'll give her credit.
I mean, if she couldn't pull it off in the ring, what should it matter?
That's what I was just about to say. Like, isn't that like, I don't know. It's different. I don't know.
It's very unusual.
It is very unusual. That's like a creative wrestler type of deal. But I guess, I mean, I think the thing for me with the PJs is like, I can't take it serious. Like, You're not going to put the title on there. Like, if you give me the PJ gimmick, I'm already going to assume, so you're not giving me the title anytime soon.
You don't know.
I mean, I don't, but let's be realistic.
I don't know.
Are they going to put the title on her? While she's in PJs? No.
If she goes, she gets over. You're right. I mean, Eugene is a special, very special gimmick. But she probably won't be champion.
No.
Does she need a championship? No. She might get popular enough to sell some merch.
I mean, she could get popular, but I just don't like.
At that point, you might have to put a title on her, and then you evolve the gimmick.
If she can move 1,000, if she can move 1,000,000 pairs of slippers, sure. Maybe not 1,000,000.
She also has a mask, the sleep mask. You sell those easily.
Oh, okay. Well, you do that too. You sell 100,000 sleep masks. Put the strap on her.
Sell them at outside the AEW show, so then when Orange Cassidy comes out, you can just
There you
go
go.
to sleep. Go to sleep. You see CM Punk come out, just go to sleep. See Tony Khan doing whatever he's doing backstage, coming out, yelling in front of everyone.
So definitely some good stuff going on.
Let's talk about more good stuff going on.
Go ahead.
New United States champion. Join the guns. Can't see it. It's too close.
Wait, who's? Oh wait, I should know who this is. Oh yes, Finn Balor. Yeah. Kind of surprising. I think I saw that live, and I was like,
Chef's kiss of the week.
and I was kind of like, wow, really? I was like, okay, because I know they hyped it up.
It was Damian Priest wanting a world championship caliber opponent,
which made me think
one.
he was like, I thought he was gonna win. I thought they were gonna like not necessarily elevate him, but it's like it would have been a big win for him.
They did do something with him after the match. He did attack. He basically turned heel. I thought
he already was.
He had the Damian side to him, which was his darker persona, but wasn't official heel turn. He was still babyface.
Okay.
Basically turned on Balor, saying the fans helped him win. That the fans never supported him, which is not necessarily true. But he's doing a heel thing, and then he attacked Balor. I'm sure we're gonna get Balor Priest at Mania. Might see Damian match. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it'll come down to that, but that's why I kind of was surprised.
Priest might get that title back at Mania, honestly.
Yeah, but are you gonna have him beat the Demon? Like, is the Demon still undefeated, or did he take a loss?
He'll take a loss to Roman.
But that was it, right?
Remember?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. The turnbuckle broke.
Well, someone
did something. But we'll talk about it here in a minute because we're about to hit into a break. But there was another heel turn that almost happened, I think, right after this, like the next segment, I think. Which was
also unexpected.
Which was a little weird. I wouldn't say it was unexpected. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but we'll also get into some numbers and viewership things as well. One thing I think me and you were talking about a little bit, and maybe that I was kind of busy, so I was kind of in and out of that conversation. But did we talk about Drake Maverick?
You know what? No, we did. I don't think we did. No, we did. We did. We mentioned it.
Did we?
I think we did mention it.
Maybe
briefly.
We did.
We'll talk about it again. Drake Maverick. I believe James Curtin is his name now, or his real name.
Is it? No, I didn't know that.
I think it is. He recently got re-signed by WWE, and is part of the creative team.
That's like the third time in 12 months or something.
It's the third time in 2 years, a little less than 2 years. Because he was released during the pandemic originally, finished up his dates and
but was never really released.
He was
never really like
he was in that Cruiserweight Championship
right when he got released, so he was never officially out the door.
Never. And then he got released the second time in November, I believe. It's part of the most recent cuts. And then he's kind of been silent ever since then. And then he got signed apparently like a month ago.
But it was just interesting because he did the whole video and saying what was next, and he checked his phone, and he was, he did that whole thing, and then I think even John Cena retweeted the video and said, "This is what you do." Like, but I think maybe if there's a creative aspect and element with Drake Maverick and those videos that he does when he gets released, maybe they can bring some of that to the table from the creative standpoint.
So it's funny because the first video he released when he got fired, it was where he was obviously crying and everything.
Yeah.
And they kind of saw that and they brought him back or whatever.
Yeah.
So you think maybe they saw this other video and then they thought, come back.
But it's like, I mean, hey, they're good videos. It's like you could be using these kind of things, but you don't. Like, I mean, how much more enjoyable if that last video there was a lot of video packages like that with that, even though I'm sure it was maybe more low budget than compared to anything WWE would do, but I thought it was great and pretty effective. And again, if it catches the eye of someone like a John Cena, I think that says something. And yeah, I don't know. I just kind of found it interesting that he went through all that and he apparently had these new opportunities. And I'm not knocking Drake Maverick, but I don't know. I just kind of thought maybe he'd go somewhere else, but heck, I wouldn't want to go to TNA either.
Well, he had the option of controlling his own narrative. And we'll talk about people who want to control our whole narrative when we return right here on Beyond the Ropes. We are 22S Radio. 22S Radio is 22smedia.com and 88.1 FM, KKJZ HD3, Long Beach, Los Angeles. Welcome back to episode 184 of Beyond the Ropes. I am your host, Ethan, joined alongside the analyst, James Williams, and producer, Rob Flores. You can find me on Twitter at EthanM95. You can follow James at
JHW Reporter.
And you can follow Rob at
Rob Flores Media.
And you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes. James, you want to control your narrative?
Sure. I don't know how I'm controlling my own narrative here, but I can read off the results of the TV rating narratives.
We could do that.
Okay.
Why not? Well,
anyways, that's what we're gonna do.
And then after that, we'll talk about the actual company control your narrative.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we'll start with Rampage as we always do in this segment of the show. Rampage for AEW pulling up the rear once again. Their February 25th show only had 473,000. Their Dynamite show did pretty well for itself on February 23rd with just over 1 million viewers. You also have NXT for their February 22nd show, getting what I believe is a small increase compared to their last couple of weeks. I think they've been in the 500,000s this week, 612,000. It looks like now that the Winter Olympics are over, you're starting to get a lot more of these shows back on their regular USA channel and whatnot. So good to see that happening again for the wrestling industry. You had Monday Night Raw for their February 28th show. Again, their second place show with 1.7 million, followed by SmackDown, with SmackDown leading the way for their February 25th show with 2.1 million. And Ethan's going to give all the credit to Roman Reigns. But again, interesting that when SmackDown is carrying the flagship for WWE and leading the way again, you have AEW still trying to compete on that Friday night spot and it drawing their lowest rating of their two shows. So interesting. Maybe we start talking about how Rampage moves over out of that spot and maybe they try to take over some other day. But just find those numbers interesting. We'll see where they all go from there, and maybe we'll see some increases again. But what else do you have for us? I know we have another heel turn to talk about here a little bit later on in the show, but what else you got?
Let's quickly talk about the new promotion.
A new promotion?
Narrative. Yeah, control your narrative. You hear about this?
Sounds familiar, but I forgot who started it.
EC3.
Oh, yes.
Adam Scherr, formerly known as Braun Strowman, are starting their own promotion. Joining them.
They're supposed to have a couple guys, right?
Joining them, Killer Cross.
That's right.
Austin Aries.
Mm-hmm.
Damo, formerly known as Killian Dane in NXT. So far, those are the names that I've seen that's been confirmed.
Not a bad group. Sounds like some of them sound like some rebels, or not rebels, but like maybe misfits in a way.
It's an interesting group to say the least. But yes, apparently, this is a statement 14 hours ago from EC3. Television deal with Pro Wrestling TV. which will launch in April. Interesting stuff.
I think I remember hearing Jim Cornette talk about it actually, and he was saying that because EC3 and all them were teasing that they had a television network or something lined up, and it's kind of like, who? So, did you just name it there, Pro Wrestling TV?
I think that's literally what it's.
I've never heard of that before.
Never heard. I'm sure it's a small thing,
but that's not what at least that's not what I had taken away from whatever the original statement was. But I do remember that now. And I mean, again, good for them. I mean, you got to start something. You got to control your own narrative. So that's what they're doing.
Should be interesting to see how they're all going to book themselves to be world champion. So
what I'm interested to see is what could be the best match on the WrestleMania card.
Oh, of course, right here.
No, we've seen that match 5 times already.
No. Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens. They're gonna defend. They're gonna win those tag titles and defend them at Mania.
So you don't want Austin Owens at or
I mean, we could.
Owens Booker T.
Booker T? Was Booker T a name?
Booker T's from Hawaii, but not from Hawaii. Booker T's from Texas, but Booker T is also. I had just seen. I think it was on Twitter or something. He was hitting a punching bag and was talking to Owens. So they got a Twitter feud going on apparently. Again, just with Booker T being or living in Texas. I think he wasn't fond of some of the choice words made by Kevin Owens. So we'll see. I still don't think we're getting Stone Cold in a match, but I mean, if you do, like, how would it not be the main event? And I don't think Kevin Owens and Austin is the main event.
They haven't announced the main event for Saturday. Let's talk about the match you want.
Yeah. Which would probably be the main event for Saturday. Could be. Maybe not if they do the women's match.
Probably not. They announced, by the way, they announced both women's title matches for Saturday.
Did they? Oh.
One of them's opening the show. It's probably going to be Bianca, Becky.
Nothing wrong with that.
I think that should be the main event. It should be the main event.
Yeah, but they got Charlotte and
I know.
And Ronda. So
yeah. Edge. He has shit out the open challenge, the Rated R Superstar.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal One AJ Styles answered the challenge.
Got a nice little pop from the crowd.
Dream match we've been waiting to see. Edge then attacked him. Got a heel turn. Hit a concerto not once, but twice.
And some people were surprised by this. I mean, I was a little bit chewed just because he was wholesome and had, doing the tag team with Beth and all that and at the last premium live event. But yeah, I just think, I mean, there's a good little story behind it about, what does the locker room turn into? But I almost kind of don't think that story fits because AJ's kind of like an older guy in his own right. So it's not like, you know what I mean? I mean, he's 40 something too. He's probably, same age as Edge at this point, but maybe a few years. But I mean, it's not like it's even Edge and the Miz or something. It's Edge and AJ. I did see a graphic or a tweet. It was actually part of a tweet that caught my eye. And AJ Styles, this is already going to be 7th WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. I saw that.
It's going by really quick, really, really quick.
It is.
But yeah, I mean, when you consider the matches that he's had one-on-one with Orton, one-on-one with Jericho, one-on-one with The Undertaker, one-on-one with Shane McMahon. He had a tag team match with Almost against a tag team championship match against Kofi and Woods. And then he also had, I barely remember, a WWE title match with Shinsuke Nakamura, who I think that's when Shinsuke won the Royal Rumble.
Turned heel. that night.
turned heel. So I thought, a pretty interesting list of matches so far. I'd actually, I'm kind of curious. I'd like to look back and see what his win-loss record is.
I believe
I
he's
don't.
4-2.
4-2. He lost to the Undertaker. Maybe what other one would he have
Lost to the Undertaker and lost to Jericho, his first one.
Lost to Jericho. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, they did win the tag titles that night, didn't they?
Won last year. Almost got the pin. He beat Shane. He beat who did you mention?
Would he have beaten Orton?
He beat Orton. Yeah, he did.
And then he would have beat Shinsuke for the title.
He retained the title. Yeah.
Yeah. So good list. I mean, if you're looking for, that next Mr. WrestleMania or whatever it may be, I mean, I think again, you just look at the matches. It's like, say what you want about maybe what they do with AJ during the year, but they make sure to put him in a decent match year after year. For the most part, I mean, maybe the tag team.
And that was
kind
too.
But it's a title match. I mean, that was a tag team title match. You had a world championship match. You're part of that Undertaker legacy match. You're in there with the world champion and Randy Orton. You're in there with Jericho. Like,
and there was Shane.
Shane is Shane, but
it's a match.
Match. It could be a big match. So I think that's cool. I think that's a good little run. And I think adding Edge to that mix is pretty cool as well. So I'm curious to see how that match is going to play out, especially with Edge kind of turning heel. I was kind of wondering how it was gonna turn out. But again, this is that one where they pretty much went back to back in terms of heel turns on segments, if I remember correctly. So yeah, just kind of interesting. But that's how WrestleMania season goes and the way they got to go about building that up.
Absolutely. Another match confirmed for Mania. The women's tag team titles are going to be defended. Carmella and Zelina Vega taking on Naomi and Sasha Banks.
Yeah, I guess they had won the titles recently, didn't they?
Yeah, they have. They've been champions for a bit.
Have they already?
I feel like at least 2 months, maybe.
You said Naomi and Sasha?
Mm-hmm.
They put a belt on her again already? I mean, she's had... I feel like every time she comes back, they put a title on her. And then something happens. I mean, I'm not mad at it, but...
apparently no plans for Bayley, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss for Mania.
Yeah, I guess that would be right. I mean, they better figure out something with Alexa Bliss. I mean, she was in that.
She wasn't in her hometown this past week. It was kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal. I mean, she's in an Elimination Chamber and whatnot. Huh?
Yeah, she kind of tweeted. She doesn't know.
Oh, she tweeted something. Oh, she's a little mad.
It seems like it. Apparently no plans for her, though. So.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I'm trying to see what else I had. There might have been something else that I think
is we're gonna see our favorite hero, the American Nightmare, show up. Is he gonna have a match at Mania?
Oh, no, but it could be a good like Monday after Mania type deal.
I think he shows up at Mania. Why not?
Vince do what? Like, where do you think he
proxy for McAfee?
Speaking of McAfee, Vince, I think, had his interview today.
It's tomorrow. 2 o'clock tomorrow. 2 p.m. tomorrow.
Oh, I might have read that earlier this morning then. That's right, because I woke up really early this morning. And I remember scrolling through Twitter and they were saying like it's tomorrow. Okay. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm curious how that goes. Just because I know how McAfee is, and I think he can get a good interview out of him.
Austin Theory's teased he was going to be there.
Oh no.
They're having a match.
Who? Oh, Austin Theory and McAfee?
Yeah. Well, the dirt sheets are saying Vince and McAfee, which we've heard Vince potentially stepping in the ring, but He's gonna be a proxy. It's gonna be Austin Theory.
What? Why would they do that?
To sell tickets. So James
Where
is
do-
here. There we go.
Yeah, sorry about that. Where do you think? Is there maybe a match out there that's still being teased, or that we still maybe need to?
Well, Rollins needs to have a match.
Nothing for Rollins, huh? Orton doesn't have anything either,
Him
and
and
not that we
Riddle.
want Orton and Rollins.
We're gonna get a tag team title match. I
You
would
gotta
assume.
get, yeah.
Probably RK
Oh
Bro,
well.
RK
See,
Bro and Street Profits, or
so that's
Alpha
the thing.
Academy.
But that's the
Triple
thing
threat.
with Rollins right now, then, right? Because now, if Rollins is doing this thing with Owens, but Owens is still supposed to be trying to get into a match with Austin or whatever, where does this leave Rollins? A manager for Becky?
Cody. You
Yeah,
just
but if
have
you're
an
not, but if
impromptu-
you're not,
the story for both of them right now is that they need to win the tag titles next week. Otherwise, they don't make it to a Mania.
okay.
They've kind of been pushing that narrative for them. They don't win next week, so someone may cost them. Someone could cost them the match next week. They've been building up this tag title match for a couple of weeks.
So you
yeah,
think someone's gonna cost them the
either-
match?
Either they win the tag titles, and that's the match we get at Mania, the tag title match, whatever.
Okay.
If they don't win them, either they're gonna fight each other,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
or whoever potentially costs them the match, whether it's Austin, whether it's Cody, someone gets involved in the match. Maybe Owens doesn't even have a match or something. I don't know.
But at that point, you almost have to have it be a tag team.
Maybe.
But it's just kind of like, why those two guys? Like, is
seems
there
right
gonna
now-
be enough time to tell? It's funny because the way they're promoting in WrestleMania, and as they should, and you build it up because it is the biggest pay-per-view, you want to promote it hard and heavy. I swear the way they promote it makes it sound like it's happening next week, but it's still like 4 or 5 weeks away.
Yeah.
So there's still another week or two in which they can build up a good story for something maybe, but it's just super interesting that it's like, just feels like it's coming on next week and it's not.
Yeah, I mean, which is good.
Yeah, it's good.
You wanna have a lot of build, especially the Becky Bianca thing. I mean, Becky got her ribs.
Yeah, that was I was watching that with my dad. She did the ponytail and left some welts and some bruises there on Becky for sure. And yeah, that was pretty bad. That was pretty bad.
So I mean, we've got some potential really good matches happening to Mania. Interesting to see the direction. I'm interested in seeing where they go with the Rollins Owens type thing.
I just don't want Rollins Owens again, just because we just had that. That was during the pandemic year, and I just feel like it's like maybe I would be able to stomach it if we weren't getting Brock and Roman as a repeat already.
They'll do something. They'll do something interesting. Whatever.
They got to figure out something.
Well, we'll talk more WrestleMania in next week's episode. But until next time, this episode of Beyond the Ropes has been absolutely too sweet.